Good morning, and welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View. This is the unlikely bunch of lads that look as if they could get Celtic into the Champions League at the first time of asking. Nobody, nobody expected Celtic to win so convincingly last night. We're going to look at the player ratings in a minute. The big news from last night is Martin O'Neill gave us an update on Alistair Johnston. And it's not really the best of news from Alistair Johnston's camp, as far as we're concerned. It looks like he could be out for a good while. So it's imperative that Celtic now just go out and get Nico Sugar. There is no disputing the fact that Michael Nicholson needs to do his job. He needs to get the deal done today. It is that important. But there's a shining light at the end of the storm. There's a golden, yeah. I've got to say, there's one player that is at Celtic that he did okay last night. In fact, he did better than okay. He was rated 7.8 last night. Let's just dive straight into the ratings first of all, from all the players. And Camilo Duran, if he starts getting ratings like this in the Champions League on a regular basis, boom, it's going to be a worry for Celtic fans, because how long can we keep him? Let's look at the player ratings. We'll start with Kieran Tierney. He was rated 7.3. Thought Kieran Tierney had a half-decent game. Mika Bauer, he was rated 7.6 in that midfield, substituted in the 65th minute. And then you look at Yang, he was rated 6.9. And I can understand why he was rated 6.9. He had some good moments, but I don't think personally that he is the standard of a winger that we need at Celtic for the Champions League. That's all I'm going to say. Casper, he had an unusually quiet game. Didn't get any goals that we were expecting last night. He was rated 6.9. Callum McGregor, rated 8. Where's all the Callum McGregor pointy haters this morning? Callum had a fantastic game last night. I think that this will be the season that you have to look at the games that we've had. And I think it was maybe the first game of the season that Callum was doing the pointy thing. And that was it. He's never done it since. It just shows you what can happen with a player and a captain when you get good players around him and good players that he trusts, good players that he doesn't feel that he has to coach on the pitch. He was rated 8, was Callum McGregor. Austin Trusty was rated 7.2, just behind Cameron Carter-Vickers, who was rated 7.4. Donovan, the other defender, the best defender on the evening, was rated 7.8. Now, for all those Celtic fans over the last couple of weeks who said, Donovan's shite, he's not Celtic class, I'll tell you one thing, where's all the love for Donovan this morning? Because he was phenomenal last night. I said to him in the summer, it's a big season for you, mate. I congratulated him on having a fantastic season ahead, and I think that he will have a fantastic season. And Benji Negron was rated 8.8 now. Camilo Duran. Wow. What a player. Duran. Benji Negron scoring a fantastic goal. We're only in August, and already on the chat last night, people were saying, how long can we hold on to Duran? And there was even a little bit of a joke last night when someone sent me a picture of Michael Nicholson on the phone saying, yep, we want 35 million for Camilo Duran. What do you mean he's only been at Celtic 2 weeks? Doesn't matter. He's for sale for 35 million. It wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. Donovan covered CCV's arse a few times. As one comment has just come in. I'll get to the comments in a moment. Duran, hungry like a wolf. There's one thing for sure. The team last night, there wasn't a bad player. There wasn't a bad player at all. Players that maybe didn't get the heights that they could Casper, obviously, for being one, just not getting, just ball not landing at his feet and stuff. Balls getting put into an area rather than, and he's shouting at the players, I want it at my feet. I don't want to fucking run into an area to try and get the ball. I want it at my feet so I could turn and attack the goal. I think that's the only downside of Celtic last night. That, you know, they were doing what Celtic were doing, what they did with Kyogo. They would put it into a space and Kyogo would run onto it. You know, Kyogo wasn't one for really getting it at his feet. He liked running at defenders. It'll come. Do you know, it will come with this Celtic team. And I've got to say, if this is the Celtic team that of players that we've amassed within 6 months, within weeks, we have new legends at the club. You know, Jiran will be the little South American legend. South American Spanish is so weird, by the way. Listen to his interview this morning. It's good to see that Celtic have got a decent translator in that translates it correctly. That's all that I'm saying. Anyway, let's move into some of the comments this morning. We'll jump back to this screen and get your thoughts on last night's game. Hold on, well, he's a handful. Yes, he is that. Flying columns in this morning. How are you, mate? Anyone else missing the on-field chaos of last season? Thumping teams is getting boring now. Bring back the chaos. Oh man, bring back the mayhem where we're pulling our hair out and yeah, we've forgotten about that, haven't we? A team that only turns up for half an hour. I mean, even Rio Hatate came on last night and done quite well. When you look at the fact that Rio Hatate was rated 6.5 and he only came on in the 65th minute. Liam Scales was rated 6.2. Sebastian Tenecte was rated 6.7. And Tony Ralston wasn't on long enough to get rated. Neither was Hassan. And two players that made a good impact also. I think that there was good, when you look at the game, I mean, Celtic scored. Was it kind of against the run of play? I mean, they'd had a couple of chances. We could have been 2-0 down. Early on, you know, if their goal stood in the first minute, Celtic were kind of rocked the first 20 minutes of the game. And then we start to find our feet. And let's face it, we get lucky with Benji Negan. We get lucky with two of the goals, but you've got to ride your luck in Europe. One of the media is coming out of Austria this morning saying that, oh, listen, Lask didn't do that bad. Do you know, they were unlucky in front of goal. When you look at how many shots on goal they had, you could maybe say, yeah, you're maybe right. They were unlucky, especially with the attempts at goal. I mean, they had 20 shots on goal in total. Celtic had 17 shots on target. They had 8 shots on target. We had 7 shots on target. And both teams had 5 shots each blocked. And it's interesting. Shots from outside the box. They had 13 shots from outside the box. Celtic had 8. Shots from inside the box was 9. And they had 7. Anyway, that's enough of the stats. The big stat is Celtic scored 3 goals, and what an absolutely phenomenal result. I don't think that we should underestimate what Celtic did last night. I mean, Paul's talking about, you know, the on-field chaos of last season, of getting to half-time and going, just take them off. Just take them off. The watch-alongs at the beginning of the last season consisted of Rio Tatis, pish, take him off. How's he even managed to be on the pitch at 45 minutes? And that was the type of performances that we're getting. The last night, that was Celtic. I don't think that we've been this excited. Now, I may be jumping the gun. Maybe not. I think that we've not been this excited about football since Brendan Rodgers' first time at Celtic. That's how good I put that performance last night. Yes, it could have been different if they'd put the balls in the back of the net. You've got to get the goals at this level. You've got to score the goals. And yes, the defender tries to clear the ball, puts it into the path, it bounces right in front of Benji Negrin. Benji Negrin then smashes it into the back of the net. He's got to hit the target. Something that Celtic last season at this time weren't doing. They just weren't hitting the back of the net. And then a similar one falls for Duran. But Duran goes, mate, you let the ball bounce. Watch this. He smashes it on the volley. Yes, absolutely fantastic. Smashes it in the volley and right into the back of it. And that was even sweeter. And then he goes on to get a second. And you're thinking, just hold on. But Celtic weren't just holding on, were they? Celtic were actually still going, still trying to get more goals. Could have been a bit tighter in defence, but they defended as a unit. Absolutely fantastic. Let's jump into more of the comments. In the words of Maeda, Donovan was on fire. Yeah, that was one of the sweetest moments ever last night. That as soon as the game finished, Dyson Maeda went straight on to Instagram. He didn't wait at all. He went straight onto Instagram and he retweeted the Celtic score, and I'll get it up right now once I get it onto it. And he tagged Colby Donovan. That itself is come on, don't do this morning. That itself is the mark of a man and a half. Look at that. Tags Colby Donovan, and you're thinking to yourself, what a player. You know, we miss him, but tagging Colby Donovan on that, I just thought was absolutely phenomenal. And then Julian Arrojo, another ex-Celtic player, gets in on the act. He's sitting watching it on his laptop on a dodgy stream. It doesn't look like it. CBS Sports he was watching on, so he was watching on CBS Sports, and he's loving the fact that Celtic did it as well. So you've got to say, going to jump into some of the players. That was Bruni sent it. Bruni was at the game last night. Bruni sitting up in the press box. Scott Brown, Griffiths, Sinisalo. What a man he was. What a man he is. If there was any doubt whatsoever that Sinisalo should be the number one goalkeeper, I think that should be put to bed. Prepped, Celtic Park, let's go. And there's the big man himself, Joe Hart. Anyway, that's enough of the players. Let's get back into the comments this morning. Yeah, in the words of Donovan, in the words of Maeda, Donovan was on fire last night. And Donovan, Duran, Sinisalo were excellent. Bauer made in Scotland by Celtic. I don't think he was made in Scotland by Celtic, but yeah, he is a player that looks as if he could fit into this Celtic team and dominate. I don't care what people say about the size of him as a player. Charlie Mulgrew had a dig at Bauer. Charlie Mulgrew having a dig at anybody. He was an okay defender, but mate, Charlie, come on, you couldn't lace Bauer's boots. Let's be honest. And you couldn't. Bauer would have you for pace every day of the week. Ex-players there. Duran, hungry like the wolf. Colby's still developing. He will make mistakes, but he still needs to learn and develop. He does, mate. And he's such a nice young guy. That's what I took from when I met him. He's such a nice young guy. He is. He will take He's very humble, very family orientated as well. He met some people that he knew, some family members at the game, and he just comes over as such a nice young guy that he will do well at Celtic. That's my prediction. Said it last night. I've been saying it since the game in Portugal that he will do well at Celtic, and I stand by that. We took control of the second half, played well. We did, didn't we? We excelled in the second half. Played fantastic yesterday. Defence was a bit dodgy, but after all, a great night. You got a hanky ready for this morning, Baz. Why? Spent 4 years with us. The best of my career. Glasgow is his second home. His son even went to play. Um, Sinisala was brilliant last night. Even got the ball away quick. It's great to have the they must be back in their caves. Yes. They'll be. There's one side of, they're bound to be raging that we played. They. I'm not joking. Right. Let's away from the Champions League and looking at Scottish football. Teams must have been sitting last night and go, right, this is where we'll know. This is how we'll know what kind of level Celtic are at. If Celtic get mullered on their own doorstep by this Austrian team, wait a minute. If Celtic get mullered on their in their own backyard by this team, we know that they've not improved significantly since last season. Up what Celtic. The a goal was luckily put offside. Now the Huns would be saying, "Oh, Celtic have got all the refs on their side. VAR are helping Celtic again. That fucking cunt." Um, Celtic were phenomenal. Celtic play like that in the SPFL, and 4-0 will become the norm. And this is what, yes, winning titles is fantastic, winning trebles, and I've said that, look, we need to make our mark in Europe. We need to we need to compete. And if last night's anything to go by, and look, people say, look, it's only the Austrian champions. Come on, calm down. Don't know. It's only the Austrian champions. They've got to qualify for the Champions League as well. Um, there's no easy games at this level. Celtic over the years have proved that there's no easy games. Come on, we got beat by fucking. We drew at home last season with Cara Almaty. And do you know what's even funnier? Is that all the managers that a certain club's had since 2012, and we've got a 74-year-old guy wiping the floor with Scottish football. Martin O'Neill, take a bow, old geezer. Absolutely fantastic for Martin O'Neill last night. Keeping everyone's feet on the ground, and that's exactly what a decent manager should do. Tyler says the defence were playing very smart, and they made all the last goals offside. The defenders were playing more upfield, 100%. Yeah, they were that. I thought the defence, as a unit, and young Colby as part of that is just, we've nothing to worry about. From now on, he's Pringles Bauer. Once he pops, he can't stop. Bauer reminded me of Hatate with his movement. He does on the pitch, doesn't he? When the camera kind of zooms out and you're looking at it, you're like, is that real? Is that it? Like, it's not. And then when yeah, but anyway, who likes a small bet? There's a horse course Duran running tonight at 8:24 in Newcastle. Oh, what's the odds that this horse comes in and wins the bloody race? Anyway, get back to the for Germany for more players. I think that, we did well with Nico Kuhn. He was fantastic for Celtic. Mika Bauer. I know that he didn't come from the top league in Germany, but maybe it is time for Celtic to go, do you know what? We've done well picking up younger players out of the lower league, out of Japan. Maybe it's time to start looking at these European players and start trying to get in more European players at a little bit younger age. You never know. Hopefully, we can keep up these performances and go on from there and make Parkhead a fortress again. I think that we can, and I think that that's what Martin O'Neill wants. And after last night, and I know it's only half time, right? We've still got a game to go in Germany, and Martin O'Neill will make sure we will get into the Champions League. And I think that it would be an almighty collapse. They've scored 8 goals in their 3 games in the league. I think that Celtic, it would be monumental if Celtic were to collapse and get beat 4-0. and I can't see it. I'll be honest, I can't see Celtic losing 4 goals. They might be on fire at home, and every shot that they take goes in the back of the net. You know, they had 20 shots in total. Shots were away from outside the box. Let's be that stat. Although it says that they had 20 shots, let's be fair. Some of the shots were wild for away outside the box, and there was no chance troubling Sinisalo. Even if they were on target, there was absolutely no chance on Sinisalo getting beat for that type of range. Has to be said. Anyway, getting back into some of the comments this morning. I hope we keep Benji. He was amazing last night. He was that. I really think that the fourth goal could be needed. Hopefully, we'll have another goal or two left in us. I think that we will score at least 2 goals away from home. I think so. Celtic seem to be buying in players now to solve the puzzle, not random pieces for another puzzle. This is very true. I need to find out how I could sort out this stream stuff, because that's just went all thingy. Anyway, right, it's just a quick one this morning, just to say that we are in a fantastic place. Alistair Johnston, we will find out where Alistair Johnston's injury issue is in the next 12 hours. Alistair Johnston is going for a scan today, and we will find out how long he is out for. Celtic need to go out and get a player that can fill his position. Nico Sugar would do that just fine. I will be back later on this evening. I will be in a different part of the house, and the internet will be even better. On that note, have an absolutely fantastic day, Celtic fans, wherever you are, all around the world.